Good evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is for you right now. Welcome back to the Retro Ranger Episode 2. We are on the Idle Hands Network, which is going to be my channel featuring all of my hobbies. This one is going to be about my retro video game collection. As you can see, most of it behind me. Episode 2, last time we went over what I had, pretty much and then a quick unboxing of my retro game treasure. Right now we're going to start out with my pickups for the month, which is pretty small because I am saving for a trip to Germany. I'm going to Oktoberfest this year. It's going to be wicked cool. It follows two of my favorite things to do, traveling and drinking beer. So we can definitely do that. And Oktoberfest is one of my all-time favorite styles, and it doesn't get the recognition it deserves here in the States because IPAs. Yay! I'm not a fan of IPAs, but that's neither here nor there. That's a different channel, or a different show that may or may not happen on this channel sometime later. So, going on to our pickups of the month. We have Banjo-Kazooie, an N64 game. Very ratty copy. It's got gashes on it. Label is very bad. Mainly because I do not care how it looks. I just want a playable copy, which that is. I got a pretty good deal on it because of the condition of the game. It's a fun platformer, that 3D platformer that the N64 is known for. Star Fox 64, my next game. This one I was willing to pay a little bit more than I wanted to for, just because this is a game I have always wanted. Star Fox, when we had... I never had a Super Nintendo, but I've always wanted one, and Star Fox was definitely one that I've gotten a chance to play a few times, but never owned. So now I get to play and own it whenever I want, and it is super fun, and it is really fun to play with the joystick on the N64 controller. Now, my next one's pretty exciting because it finishes off one of my collecting goals, which is Xevious, which finishes off my collection of NES X games. As we know, last time when I opened up my retro game treasure, we had Xenophobe, and then I already owned Zexal because I had already started looking for X games. But now I have Xevious, which is a vertical shooter that actually shoots on two planes. It's not a bad game, but it's not the best port from the arcade version. It's very, sometimes a little bit difficult. There's no power, I don't believe there's any power-ups that I came across, and there's like one-shot kills, so you end up dying a lot in that game. Xenophobe is just a bad one, and then Zexal, Hudson Soft makes a quality product, so they did pretty good there. So that is my pickups. I also did get a expansion pack for my N64, but since I already installed it, I don't want to get it out and just show you, like, hey, I got an expansion pack. I picked one up. It's an actual Nintendo version. It's not one of the aftermarket versions. I got it from one of my local game shops. They have a whole bunch of them, but they are a nice place, and they got a lot of games, and it's just probably the most selection of everything. I just don't like their setup as much as some of the other places. It's not organized at all. It's just like, hey, we got a bunch of games, and they're all stacked on top of each other. Which, when you're looking for Jaleco games, you can find the Jaleco games really quickly, but you just don't know which ones they are unless you look at the price. So, going on to my second section, we have our unboxing, and this month I have subscribed to Video Games Monthly. Not as fun of a box, but it is a very fun box because it does have their little retro 8-bit guy on there. Last month, you'll remember I did Retro Games Treasure. I have suspended that one for a month at least until we see what's in the box. Hopefully it's not any attractive females' heads, but it looks a little small, so probably not. The Video Games Monthly is kind of nice because you are guaranteed a set number of games, and they will either give you more but they'll never give you less than that number. So you have a package of 3, a package of 4, a package of 5. I think there might be a package of 7, and then there's 10. There's several different levels, whereas Video Games Monthly, you only have one package that you can get. It's going to be 3 to 5 games, depending on the value of the game. Going back and forth between the two, I do like the interface of Retro Game Treasure better, and I do like the fact that I can have every single game listed on their, like, I can just, what I own on both of them can be put into either one. But Video Games Monthly gives you a limit of 200 games, so when you reach that 200 games, you have to remove games on there, which isn't that difficult for someone like me, because I only have like 43 Nintendo games and 3 N64 games and probably a handful of PlayStation games. But when you get to someone like that's a very avid collector who has over 200 in any particular system, they have to remove games that, you know, I would just say remove your little Samson if you have it. You're not going to get it in the game subscription, so most likely it's not worth it. So just remove it on there, and then all of a sudden you have an extra spot. Remove the Mega Mans, remove the Marios. You'll always be able to sell a Mario, Super Mario Brothers for a decent amount. You'll always be able to sell a Mega Man for a decent amount. So you won't have to worry about necessarily getting those over and over again. With N64, that's over half of the entire library of the N64. But with PlayStation, that's just a huge amount of games. So just, as far as that's concerned, just mark off the ones that you don't want copies of and keep the ones that you wouldn't mind getting more of, just so you can keep the better versions of it. Like Final Fantasy 7s and 8s and 9s, if you like 8. 8 wasn't my favorite, but Final Fantasy 7, if I got more copies of Final Fantasy 7, I wouldn't cry. So you do have the ability with Video Games Monthly to do a wish list, just like you do with the Retro Games Treasure. The difference is you just kind of type it out, literally type it out, and email them, as opposed to having an actual, not necessarily a drop-down list, but more of a type in, choose, and it's just set, and you can adjust it all the time. And then you can kind of, with that wish list, give them an idea of what type of game you are doing. And they ask for as many games as possible so that they can keep a good idea of how many games they want, or what type of games you're looking for, as opposed to Retro Game Treasure, where they ask you what type of games you like. But we'll see what I get here, and then we'll go from there. So, opening it up. So, we have our card that says, thank you for your subscription, hope you enjoy your latest box, blah, blah, blah. That's there. And we get a 1-up. Right off the bat, 1-up. So, as I said before, I got the 4-game box. The 4-game box, I'm guaranteed 4 games, and now I'm getting 5 games, so that's pretty sweet. So, already better than Retro Game Treasure and how many games I'm getting, because I'm guaranteed 4 as opposed to 3, but I can get more. So, we have a Nintendo game to start off that, and it is Bart vs. the Space Mutants, which puts me one step closer to my actual goal of collecting all of my sequels and series of games. So there's 4 Simpsons games, including Krusty's Funhouse. I have the Simpsons Bart vs. both, so I just need Bart versus Bart Meets Radioactive Man and Krusty's Funhouse. And then my second one's going to start me off with my Y collection, Yoshi's Cookie. Yoshi's Cookie, I haven't played it, but Yoshi was introduced after the Super Nintendo, or when the Super Nintendo came out, and then they added a couple games to the Nintendo with Yoshi in it, including Yoshi, which is another one that I need to get. So, cool, little cozy, little koozie. That'll keep my my soda or my beer cool while I am playing my retro games. Going on to N64, as I said, I did get an expansion pack, so I can play the entire library now. which is definitely a necessity for Perfect Dark, because I can play the entire game of Perfect Dark now with that expansion pack. That one is going to be good. What I understand, very similar to GoldenEye type shooter, that type shooter. So since I don't have GoldenEye, that brings my total of N64 games up to 4. Then we have a PlayStation game. We have Cool Borders 3. Hooray, Cool Borders 3. Snowboard game. It looks pretty good. 2 players, vibrate function, 34 courses, all the tricks and maneuvers, state-of-the-art graphics, 22 authentic snowboards, and 6 world-class events. So that's cool. Decent, doesn't look too scratched up, nothing that can't be probably buffed out or anything, so it's pretty clean there. Then we have a Rallycross. This one is another PlayStation game. There's another game in here. If I'm doing my math correctly, that's 2, 3, 4. That should have been it. Plus the 1-up. This should have been it. That means I got an extra. I got a 1-up. So instead of a 1-up, I got a 2-up on my first box. So hooray for that. But they only gave me a 1-up thing, so maybe they don't know. But Rallycross, I am not the biggest fan of like actual racing games. I prefer kart racers, not actual racing games. But this one doesn't, like, it's not a road racer like Gran Turismo or something like that. And while I have nothing wrong with those, they're just not my favorite style. They're not as fun to me. It's very, very blah. But Rallycross is an off-road. That's pretty cool. 20 rally vehicles, 6 courses, which you can go back and forth, or backwards and forward on, so that means 12 courses. 1 to 4 players, so this one is actually a 4-player game, so you can play with the multi-tap, which I don't have, but I could get the multi-tap, and then I would be able to play with 4 people. Looks like it could be fun. And then my last one is The Mummy, PlayStation game. So I would say probably similar to a Tomb Raider style, based on what I'm seeing on the back here. 1 player, analog control compatible, and vibration function compatible. So yeah, so The Mummy looks like that one is in pristine shape. So yeah, The Mummy, haven't played it. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that it exists, but it could very well exist. And then, so yeah, 6 games when I was only supposed to get 4. They gave me just a 1-up, so I got a 2-up instead of 1-up. That's this card here. They say 1-up. Congratulations, you have received a free game. Thank you for being a Video Game Monthly subscriber. I don't know the value of these games. I'm going to guess that they're probably not the most expensive. I know Bart vs. Space Mutants is probably $7. Yoshi's Cookie is probably not worth that much. Perfect Dark is probably $10. And then I would say a few bucks for each of these PlayStation games. I don't really care. It means that I have 6 games that I didn't have before. The cost is worth it to me because each time that I've gotten a subscription box, I have gotten closer to my goals of collecting, because they have things that I don't necessarily find. Perfect Dark has always been, like, it's just not something I've picked up. And on top of that, it forces me to get the game. So as opposed to, like, me looking at it where I'm just like, I could get it, and then I'm just like, not today, because I don't know anything about it. It just gives me the game, so if it's a bad game, it's a bad game, whatever. But Perfect Dark is a good game. Rare made a lot of great titles on the N64. Whether or not it is worth it, it's a Konami PlayStation game, so it could be good. Cool Borders, I know, was a good run of snowboard games, and they're fun, but they're not necessarily the most fun, and Rallycross isn't necessarily a huge, like, road racing game, so it's we'll see if it's any good. But going on from there, I'm going to have to add the games to my collection, which I am going to do in both my app. So I do keep track of my games, so that way when I'm out and about, I have the ability to look to see what I have. I have an app on my phone called VG Collection Tracker Gratis. It's got a nice little app icon that is essentially a little, looks like a joystick on there. You probably can't see it, but it's right there. And then click on that, and it's got your collection, and on your collection you can just go to add, and then there's a couple different ways. You can add manually, add from Giant Bomb. I usually add from Giant Bomb because when I do that, it gives me all of the artwork and all of the information from almost every game I've ever found. And then you can add from the games DB, so the games database, and using a barcode scanner. So you have different ways that you can add games. And then it gives you all of the information from the game plus the artwork of the game, which is really nice. So you can see there I have Captain Planet. And then it also gives you the ability to make notes. So when I make notes, I usually write what I have in it. So in case I come across a place that has a manual box and I can just look through a manual, or so like I can come across that, like Castlevania 3, I only have the cart for, I don't have the manual or the box. So if I come across a place that has a box, or like just a collection of manuals, I can go through and see if Castlevania 3 is in there, and I can take that, buy that, and then I can add that to my Castlevania 3, and then I will have the ability to add that. So this has all of my games on it, including my my PlayStation and my N64 games. So it has that, and then there's a wish list function, so it's like, what do I want to collect, like what am I looking for? So all my Jaleco games are on there, and then all of my other ones that I'm looking for specifically. So I'm trying to collect all the Jaleco titles, I'm trying to collect all the series that I'm trying to find. So right now I'm looking for Bart Meets Radioactive Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the Manhattan Project. So those are ones that I need. And then as far as Jaleco goes, I need Wampum, Totally Rad. I need a bunch. Which brings me to my second way that I keep track, and this one's easier for me to look at for when I'm just kind of putzing around at home. I have a list of Nintendo games, and this is from Digital Press, and you can get it from digitalpress.com. It's or digitpress.com. It is just a list of every major title, and then all of those titles are in alphabetical order, and then has a GBI after it, so you can write if you have the game, the box, and the instructions. So if you have a complete version like I have of Captain Planet, you can mark off all of your little boxes. You can see I've done that on most of my games. There was one point in time that I was just trying to get nothing but complete in-box games, and that gets expensive. So I decided against that and just kind of go with trying just to collect games for fun, and then set some good goals for me. But if I come across a game that's complete in-box that's decently priced, I'm going to pick it up. And then I've made a couple of different marks on here just because I can. Like Back to the Future, I own complete in-box. I'm looking for Back to the Future 2, so I put an asterisk next to it. Everything on the asterisk is something that I'm specifically looking for to finish up a series. If you see here, I put parentheses around a section of them, and that's everything that starts with a number, because I am looking for everything that starts with a number, and I don't have any of them yet, so I'm not really starting that collection, but I can do that with my X, Y, and Z, because there's such small number of games. I did that. All of my X's are now complete, and I have now added a Y with my Yoshi cookie. So I only have 3 more for that, Yonoid, Yoshi, and the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. And another aspect that this list gives me is its rarity. So you look at it and you'll see Yonoid, Yoshi, and Yoshi's Cookie are all R3s. So they're not very rare, but they're moderately rare. And then there's R5, and I think it goes up to R10 or something like that. But it goes up decently high. R5 makes it pretty hard to find from just your local shop, so good luck finding it. That generally means that the price is going to go up. Young Indiana Jones Chronicles is going to be a difficult one for me to finish wise. And then as far as these are concerned, I don't actually have any of them. There's only 4 that this one lists, but I consider The Legend of Zelda, or Zelda 2 on that list too, because it's Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, not The Legend of Zelda 2. So that's what I do. But that's on 2 different sections. Like, I want to get that one because it's also in the series of The Legend of Zelda. So that one's that. That's what I got for you. If you guys have any questions or anything about what I have or where I am, I'm in Milwaukee area, so that's what I have for. Don't have a lot in the area, and we're coming up on garage sale season soon. It's April, mid-April right now. Coming up on garage sale season soon, so I'm hoping to get out there and see some good garage sales with some great choices, but I know people are figuring out that NES and Super Nintendo and N64 games are getting up there in price, so they take them to a couple places, but some of them think they have something, but they don't, so we'll see what happens. This is my first year garage sailing, so I'm going to see what I can do from there. And that's what I got for you. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, concerns, quandaries, conundrums, queries, please ask in the comments section. I'm going to make a couple of notes in there for the link to the list, and then I will also make note of the app that I use, just because it's a free app, and there is a paid version, but I like the free app better, because that way I don't have to pay for it. And then just keep an eye out for my other shows that are going to be coming out. I'm going to be putting out some other shows about other hobbies that I have. 0 Day is going to be a lightweight backpacking show. I have the Knitting Night, which is going to be about my knitting. I am a knitter. I'm very happy about being a knitter. Gets cold in Wisconsin and kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone when you're stuck in the middle of winter and you don't have anything to do. You can make something warm so that you can have the possibility of going out in the cold. And then I will be doing Cosplay Corner as well, and those are going to be probably the 3 other shows that I put on the channel. Maybe something else, maybe about home brewing as well, but there's a lot out there for that. So that's what I got for you. So just remember, idle hands aren't doing anything. So get out there and do something with those hands, and we'll see you next month on the Retro Ranger.